I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
All board members are present, along with the principals, Superintendent Winter, and Ms. Huntsman.
Motion for adoption of the agenda.
I so move.
And a second?
Second.
I think we have an addendum to item 11, notice of assignment for interventionists. Any other additions, subtractions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item 5 would be communications recognition, open forum committee.
Nothing to report.
Go. Moving on to item 6, board committees. First would be community ed. And this is our first with our new community ed director, and we went over some of the numbers. Preschool, 74 kids, potentially adding a class to that. Dutchman Explorer Club, 93. Preschool wraparound, 22. We hired a new preschool screener. And ECFE is happening. They're looking for a new assistant for adult ed. And some changes with the father-daughter dance. Seems like the numbers, enthusiasm has been decreasing, so they're kind of working out a new plan for that. Did I miss any?
I think we're looking at maybe starting a newsletter.
Electronic.
She could ask that.
What?
Electronic newsletter?
Yeah, so I'd like to put, a community ed electronic newsletter, piggybacking on what I'm currently doing right now, but something that I can add more information to, and live links.
Moving on to DAC.
So it's my first DAC meeting, and we talked a little bit about fall activity numbers. The only ones I kind of wrote down were musicals down a little bit, soccer's up a little bit, tennis is down a little bit, and fall is our heavy season of available sports. I guess there's 7 girl activities in the fall, plus 4 boy activities in the fall, so it spreads our numbers out on a lot of different sports. So, and the only other thing, Jonathan went through kind of how every team was doing, but the other thing we talked a little bit about is increasing school pride, kind of what it means. Maybe reviewing kind of what homecoming means, getting back to the roots of homecoming, encouraging alumni to come back, to go to the games, those kind of things. So Nathan Meyer had brought it up, that maybe we should think about it. Maybe different events, or I don't know, just kind of talk about it in future meetings. That's all.
PTA?
I wasn't at the last meeting, I had a scheduling conflict, but they did share some notes. They did a conference deal for the elementary teachers, or are going to be. They will be. Okay. So the PTA is going to do a chili bar in the elementary lounge on 14th. Just for teacher appreciation, the food service. Prepare the chili, and the PTA members will be picking up the toppings. The elementary's one and only fundraiser will be the Dutchman Fund Run. It'll be Friday, April 19th. Each student's going to get a shirt to wear, provided by local business. businesses that sponsor it. There's gonna be a seesaw message going out, talking to parents at conferences to see if they're available to help. Is that same message gonna include any opportunities for membership? No?
I don't think so. Would we, have available again the forms for them to have membership at our conferences like we did.
So they're gonna do decorating committee and then starting on the 18th. And then Terrell requested that PTA purchase 2 benches to be used on the playground. The next PTA meeting is November 8th. That's all I want to have.
Thank you. Staff development.
Both the elementary and the middle school, high school staff development, we're kind of working on the workshop that we had last week, so the principals are kind of commenting about that. They've started making plans for the one in November. Both committees are meeting this month and we'll work things up for November. So I won't share anything more since the principals will cover it.
Moving on to administrative reports. Mr. Becker.
Yes, sure, how board members. Usually I try to at least once or twice a year during board meetings to just share some fun stuff, some good classroom stuff. High school trip information, the Spanish trip is coming quickly, which is great. We had 34 excited students for that departure to Mexico, Belize, Guatemala. GAP students this year is the first time since pre-COVID that we're going to be traveling both through and out-house schools. So that'll be great that we can get back to making that whole northern trek when we travel. Some recent classroom happenings. Mr. Kozad's culinary classes, they had a game stew lab, which was really neat. I was fortunate enough to get an invite from students and try that stuff out. That was really quite good. So whatever was in season as far as the hunting, I was eating it, goose, whatever. So that was kind of fun. Mr. Swartz's manufacturing class had guest presenters from Karstens on the 11th. Kids were given a demo of fiberglass and had the opportunity to work with the curing process and so on, which was really neat. And I tell you, the people that came from Karstens were extremely knowledgeable, extremely personable. It was a lot of fun for the kids to be able to interact with the business in town. Also, Dama Stainless and they've been here from New London. I think Mr. Swartz has got a connection there, which is great. Also, we've had donated materials from them, multiple visits from Standard Iron, some former students, Todd Kemper, Jason Hellerman. They donated 500 pounds of steel. We've got Career Tech Ed students that are going to be touring that facility and Alec Tech Trades programs November 1st. Then finally, Ms. Peterson's class, we had a child development class. We've had speakers speak about adoption agencies, kinds of adoptions, personal experiences. I had the opportunity to partake in that, which was really neat. And then finally, we just got some dates coming up. Senior Open Campus on the 26th, later this week. Veterans Day program is third hour, and the end of the quarter on the 9th of November. And we've got the Matilda musical coming right around the corner as well. Any questions for me? Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Mr. Anderson.
All right. On Wednesday, we had teacher in service. Secondary teachers learned about de-escalation strategies that we do every year with our paras and our teachers. We also talked about EL, the Miss Petermeyer, Miss Ortiz and Miss Hellerman, the REL teachers, did some can-do descriptors, and they spent some time with translation technology pieces with things with Google. That was very interesting. Teachers were very interested in that and working on that. And then we spent about the next 2 or 3 hours working on our MTSS process with teachers, talking about it, and then teachers were given time to do the savers on their students. So every kid, even in elementary K through 10th grade, will get screened for academic, emotional, and social pieces, and that's about 19 questions teachers need to do on students, so it does take some time. So we provided that time on Wednesday for teachers to do that. So every student Again, K through 10th grade, we'll have that done on them 3 times a year. We look at the scores, we meet on the scores, and we make adjustments according to the scores of what support students need based on that screener. So we're excited. That is new for high school, and we did it last year for 6th and 7th grade, but it's new for our 8th grade this year as well. So we're excited about that. Other thing is middle school student council is sponsoring a Halloween costume day on October 31st. They're going to hand out some prizes for best costume, and then we have conferences coming up as well as the end of the quarter. So
Thank you.
Good evening. Yeah, the elementary had a great professional development day last Wednesday also. They focused on their math and science curriculum. Math was focused on reviewing 2 of the programs that new curriculums. They narrowed it down to 2 companies. They had a rep present digitally. One rep did come to kind of talk in person, but the presentation was on the screen first. And so now the math committee will be meeting in the next couple weeks and taking a vote and making a decision on what curriculum we'll be purchasing to use next year. And then they worked on their new science curriculum that they are implementing this year. And it was fun on Tuesday. The 3rd graders released their butterflies. They hatched them. They got into a cocoon and they released them. And they were excited about that. And it was fun to take pictures and to be a part of that. It's a very hands-on investigative type approach to science now. And the kids are definitely enjoying it. The teachers are finding out there's a lot of prep and a lot of purchasing, a lot of materials. Going to Coburg a lot to try to do experiments. But it's going great and the kids have really been engaged and really have enjoyed it. So it's good to see. Our paras in the elementary are doing what the secondary paras did last year. They did a book study on health for Billy, talking about behavioral and social emotional type things for Billy, and they had a great session. And then they had 1 hour after that we did add in reading, and so it's been great. We're using one of our letters trainers, one of our own teachers that met with the teachers and that are sharing a few of the things that the teachers are learning that would definitely help them when they help students in reading class. And so we've decided that they will do 1 hour of that again next month after 3 hours of help for Billy. They have a workbook, so it's not just talking at them for their book study. There's a lot of collaborating going on and working in their workbook, but after 3 hours, then it's time to change the topic, so they switched over to reading. We will be reviewing, for example, all of the vowel sounds and talking about maybe holding your throat to be able to know if it's a voiced or unvoiced sound, and using mirrors like we teach our kids now to be able to know how to the shape of their mouth, all of those things. We're teaching, making sure that the parents know it all too, not just the teacher and the kids. So the parents were very engaged. It was nice to see. And then on Halloween, the elementary will be having kid-friendly costumes too, and the staff, and just having a fun day together and celebrating that next Tuesday. And also we have our conferences pre-K through 5, and we will be doing Tuesday night and Thursday night, and then all day Friday. And we do thank PTA for providing supper for the elementary staff on the 14th. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Ms. Winter.
Over the EA break, there was a significant upgrade in our Wi-Fi system. All the access points, you'll see them all around the building, were all upgraded. This was part of the plan when Aaron and I and Steve met last summer, either do things in phases or get it all done at one time, and decided to get it all done at one time. Steve explained to me it's like going from a gravel road to a 2-lane highway. It's that much of an upgrade, and you'd have to have a higher end computer system to really notice it, but it will provide a significant upgrade in reliability within our system. Last Thursday, we did test the parent notification system on our apps. Of course, if you didn't get it, you wouldn't know, but if you know somebody that has the app and didn't get it, please let them know to make sure their information is updated through Cheryl Anakane. And just right away in that next bullet, winter days are ahead of us. It's gonna be a cold Halloween, apparently by the forecast. Chances of some snowflakes, and I know people don't like to hear that. But one of the things, even though we do have this app on our phone and the people have the app on their phone, one little caveat I want to throw in with that is, please don't let that be your sole information, whether school is delayed or closed. Sometimes because of cellular systems are down, you won't get the message. Make sure you still check with some of the main news media, radio stations, TV. Look at our website; it'll be on there. So every once in a while, I'll hear from somebody. Well, yeah, I didn't get the message this morning. And how's your cell phone service? Well, it's spotty at times. So if your cell phone service is spotty at times, you may not get that message. Also, just a reminder, you can still vote in our district office leading up to the November 7th special election. The last day of voting in the district office is November 6th. That ends at 3:30, and then polls will open City Hall from 7 a.m. and they'll close at 8 p.m. that day. And the one final comment I want to make, it's just to show you how fast this year is going, school board meetings go. Just seems like last week you accepted Erin Noska's resignation, and I just want to publicly say at our last school board meeting how much she'll be missed. Her and I started at the same time here, and I came in with 8 years experience as a superintendent, but I've learned a lot from her over the years. I hope she's learned some good things from me over the years, but she has been a huge part of the team here at Melrose that has made our district successful over the last 6 plus years. So she'll be greatly missed. I got to make sure I publicly acknowledge her in that. And we believe we do have another candidate that we were able to interview and offer a contract to, and we'll hear tomorrow. She's on vacation right now, so I hope we'll have a new business manager in place, but it won't be a replacement for Ms. Noska. So thank you for your 6+ years of dedication to this job.
No, I stay behind.
Mr. Would the board would like to make a big ditto on those thoughts and our appreciation and our hope that everything, your future and everything is happy as well. Leave this place a better place than you came, and that's all we ask. That's all we can ever get. Moving on, one last piece of work. Not quick, sorry. No non-actions. Consent agenda. A motion for the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Highlights or
Just in the personnel, still a lot of hiring. Unfortunately, with the job market the way it is, we're losing some staff members. We're hiring and replacing as quickly as we can. Some are just retiring. Also, we're also hiring some coaches, so basketball coaches, dance coaches, and you'll see a few of the resignations there, and a few of the leave requests.
Are we pretty set for winter sports now?
I think we're okay for now. We'll see. Depends on numbers. There might be some requests for additional coaches, those type of things.
any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as listed? Aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Now the treasurer's report. A motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second it.
There's not really a whole lot to mention. I did pull, ended up doing a bunch of federal draws in September, so our revenue was up a little bit for that. But otherwise, we are looking like we're right on track with where we were last year. Everything seems to be running smoothly at this point in time, and hoping that the audit will be wrapped up ready for her to present in November.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Moving on to action items. Item A is donations and gifts. A motion to approve, accept the donations as listed.
So
And a second.
Second.
You heard some of the discussion within the principal's reports on the stainless steel, fiberglass, Carson Industries. Along with that, a lot of donation of school supplies, things for speech, so continuation of a lot of support on a monthly basis from some of our community groups and some people outside our community that wants to make sure our CTE courses are stocked and prepared.
Obviously expressing our appreciation. The roll call.
Pat?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Item, so the next section is approval of 4 policies. Policies, this is for those who aren't here every week. Policies are what basically govern the school district, and they needed to be updated because things change or the policies change. A lot of these policies come from the State School Board Association, and a lot of them are reflective of changes that happen with the law, things that the legislature might pass. So these 4 policies, the process of changing a policy, approving a policy, is that it's brought up to the board twice at separate meetings for review and comment. And then on the 3rd time, then that's when the board votes to approve it. And then that policy is the new policy. These 4 policies have already been brought up twice, so this is the 3rd review, and it's a vote. And I don't think anything has changed since these were first brought up. Usually the board discusses it when it's first brought up. And then if there's no changes, it's kind of clockwork beyond that. So first such policy would be policy 102, equal education opportunity. A motion to approve this policy.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
No changes.
No changes since first review.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Policy 514. A motion to approve the policy 514 updated regarding bullying.
I so moved.
And a second.
Second.
No changes.
No changes since first review.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Onward. Item D would be policy 613 regarding updated graduation requirements. A motion, please,
So
and a second.
Second.
No changes. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Item E. Are you? You're good. Read Act, motion to approve,
So moved.
and second. No changes since first or second reading.
No changes.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Item 11, or agenda item 11, action item F. Resolution combining polling places. Motion, please,
So move.
and a second.
Second.
Background.
So this is essentially the resolution we had on last year's board meeting where we combined all the polling places. Certainly, this is always up for discussion every year. If you want to continue to go with combined polling places, or you want to go back to the available polling places within the district, if we would have a special election, this always just deals with that special election component. So it's kind of right now, do you want to continue with this one? Do you want to have discussion? Somebody want to make a motion to change it? Second the motion, vote on that. It's something that needs to come to the board every year for discussion and approval.
What's the timescale for that?
I think we have to have one today.
So when it says combined polling places,
That means that they would all be at City Hall.
so it's just one,
Just one.
but can we have multiple
Can
combined?
have multiple if you want.
What's the non-combined? Like,
We are thinking, Tammy doesn't know for sure. I just called her because there were some questions before the meeting. She thinks if the county at the next big election in November of next year, at the most, they would be able to supply or man 3 or provide personnel to 3 polling places. In the past, they've had 5. 5 became difficult. We just don't know right now how many the county would be able to have at their next election.
So 3 would be Melrose, Freeport, and
Probably no one.
Right now, I was just talking to Becky prior to the meeting. Right now, I believe there's only 3 in-person election places, which would be the city of Freeport, city of Melrose, and Millwood Township,
Which uses St. Rose,
which will be St. Rose, but the residents of St. Rose do
Malin.
mail-ins. And I don't think there's anything Spring Hill, Melrose, Greenwald anymore. If I was to make a recommendation based off of our last referendum that we went out with, and this was a hot issue, obviously, as you know, why would we not follow this county? If the county determines that these are the 3 in person, we would follow the county on those 3.
I don't think the county determines it, right? Each township determines whether or not they're in person or mail-in now.
I think the township can recommend, or the precincts will recommend the county, the commissioners ultimately decide.
so you're saying there's no way to have a southern or a Greenwald or Meyer Grove?
Well, it's just in my discussion with Tammy, it's just a matter of finding election judges. That's the problem. That's the same problem that the county runs into. So the county will go through that process of working with those precincts to say, we can't find anybody, what do you want to do? Then the precinct will either make a decision or the county commissioner will make a decision and say, no, in your area, you're gonna have this many polling places.
So if you have an in-person option, it has to be open a certain amount of hours.
It's gotta be open from 7 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night.
Who finds the election judges?
For our elections, it's Tammy, or the county will do it.
So if we have to run a special one that's school only, we're in charge of finding it.
But those people would have to be trained and
Yeah,
They
they have to
certify-
know.
There would be a list, there's,
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
but the list keeps getting smaller and smaller.
at least we've done our due diligence on our part, calling it. So we just make the
What if-
decision.
But if we
So-
say 3, then we gotta staff 3.
Then we're gonna staff 3.
Right, so
Well,
what if you can't?
What if
Yeah.
you say 3 and you can't staff it?
And we've called everyone on the list. Well, there's gotta be an option, then it goes
Yep.
to what, just one place? And we say, hey, we called, we asked.
You can't find it.
What we dealt with in the past on this is when this decision is made today, that's the decision we have to move forward with.
If you can't find anybody, you can't find anybody, and that is what it is.
Right, and what the county does is that they will make that decision when they can't find, they'll just shut down precincts when they can't find them.
And then it goes to one location.
And it's, well, in a, you gotta remember for the county, in a general election, they probably wouldn't, they still would probably do at least 3. Do a northwest, or northeast and central option with Melrose. But once again, I can't speak to what Stearns County does or what their strategies are.
If we say we're gonna do 3, and we call everyone, and there's not anyone, and then the county calls, and there's still not anyone, and we can have 3,
But you,
then it goes to just 1.
but you broaden your net. You would go up into Long Prairie area over to Glenwood. There are other election judges, especially, I'm thinking this would be a case where we would run a special election. So there'd be a lot of people available, we just have to find those people by casting a broader net.
They have to be
So the
certified in the
list
state.
isn't the list,
They gotta
the
be,
list,
it's a certificate, yeah, you're right,
So the
certified in
list-
the state.
the list grows.
Sure.
So we don't have a.
It doesn't make
finite
it any
list.
easier.
Because
Wow.
usually someone from Long Prairie, they don't wanna, drive to wherever to
Right.
your election.
Our school district list is so much.
Yeah.
We can go outside to Long Prairie District, Albany District, a much longer list, and if maybe it's somebody that is retired, that has the flexibility to be there that day.
And then at least we try.
Well, like I said, I'm a little concerned by having one polling place, and once again, it was very loud and clear with a group of individuals that they felt that was voter suspension.
It wasn't even that, it went beyond that into other things, I think it's just an act of.
This is just the one step.
Yeah.
Or don't you think there was an issue?
No, there was an issue, I just don't think that's the only issue.
That's all we got on the table today.
There were other concerns, is what I'm saying. Yes.
This is just today.
So I'm with you and saying it shouldn't just be 1. If that's what you were saying. If that's not what you're saying, then I guess I'm alone in saying I think it
No.
shouldn't just
No, I'm
be
with you.
1.
So if I'm just asking, like, if you're like broadening your net, are you like paying people from Glenwood? to, like,
We
transplant?
would, already on our special elections, we pay more than the county pays on their election. It costs a lot of money.
So do you pay mileage plus hour?
Well, in order to get somebody, it would be paying mileage then.
And it is gonna be more cost to
Oh,
do
yes.
3.
Could our standard just be, we call who is available in our district, and if that isn't an option, then we have to move to one place? What's the standard protocol?
Once you make this decision, you've got to stick with it.
But if there aren't people, you can't stick
I know.
with it, so there has to be,
But that is the logical answer,
right,
but we can't depend on logic.
I understand. I
Because
get
it's
it.
the law, it's the law.
Right.
Logic. It's good.
So I think though, if we're going to do multiple, we're doing St. Rose, Freeport, Melrose, you need one then on the other side of the district as well.
I would think it's
So,
a long ways from Melrose Spring.
I mean, otherwise Melrose is somewhat central, so it's okay if you only have one, but if you're going to go to multiples, then we would have to cover the district better.
How
How do you-
specific do we have to be with this resolution?
Yeah, because right now it just says combined.
You would determine how many polling places and where they're gonna be at.
Like, but we haven't done the footwork to know, is there a spot in Greenwald or Meyer Grove?
There are spots in the past that we used, the first year I was here for our levy referendum. I was helping Tammy haul machines to Greenwald and to New Munich.
But they still had a polling place at that time.
Yes,
Now there is no such thing.
correct.
Yeah, it would have to be.
That's what makes it that much more difficult. They have nothing, and now you're gonna try and start something.
But could you go
Would
with
we
what the
still be
county,
mailing?
the county does?
No,
If that's our standard,
well,
like in Spring Hill and Greenwald? and
Not on
we
a
do-
special
special.
election.
Not on a special.
special.
If it's school district only, then no. That's why this becomes more of a task. Otherwise, if it was mail-in, then we would just mail it.
There would be
But
no-
if
But
one
then that would be
location
out.
was Meyer Grove, Spring Hill,
Except
Greenwald, go to
for-
Meyer Grove.
Next year,
Well, they
we
can go to
do
any of, I don't know.
Any of the 3?
I
the
don't
general
know.
election.
But
Well,
yes, I
any
mean,
of them.
I
logic,
think we need to
Any
find
of them,
out
right?
those details, especially if we say we'll have 3 open, what happens if we can't find people to fill those 3? I don't think we can make a decision on this until we actually know.
this has to be done today or at the end of the year, by the end of the year.
I can look, but I just, and once again, I understand what you're saying and your logic, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's not.
I-
we can't make a
I-
decision
the
without
problem
knowing
is
how
I-
it works.
the problem is if you're projecting ahead of having an election and you're trying to project ahead to make sure you have enough people to work, and all of a sudden you don't have enough people to work, and all of a sudden you make decisions, well, now we're, instead of 4, we're only gonna have 2, and then I think people would be equally upset at that point.
Well,
I mean, can we, again, trying to apply logic, can we stick in a phrase there?
Contingent
Provided staff is available.
And can we go with what the county is doing? Because then people will be used to that. They'll go, okay, the polling places are the same as what the county sets up for other elections. So, okay, I know I can go here, here, and here.
but
That's
not
not different.
really,
The only
because,
thing,
because you're gonna have a mail-in otherwise.
Right.
So it's not really the same. If we have a special election, just like now in November, nobody's gonna get a mail-in ballot, even though it's in November.
Right.
You have to go to the polling place. So it's not really what people are used to necessarily.
and I think Freeport and St. Rose is also, well, I mean, Millwood is St. Rose. Freeport is like the second largest precinct, are they not, Mark?
No, I think Millwood might be bigger than Freeport.
It is.
I think so. Wasn't it?
So it
The
goes
last
to the
election?
city of Melrose, Millwood, and then Freeport.
Something like that.
So you're appeasing the largest 3.
Well, you're putting something in that they're used to having. That's my piece to this. You're putting it in the places that they're used to having it, the rest aren't.
Right, so they would have.
But the rest are reliant on
Mailing.
mail.
But how do you put something in somewhere where there hasn't been anything for a number of years? That's my biggest thing. So you have the people in Freeport that can set up and do it. You got the people in Millwood that can do it. You got the people in Melrose. Now we're supposed to find somebody to set something up somewhere else. It's gonna be a little difficult. Because you're gonna have to pull from these other places to open up another one.
The only, I mean, from my perspective, just saving money, one, I'm not advocating this. So the reason what we're talking about multiple ones is to try to answer criticism that we're trying to exclude people. If we're trying to answer that criticism, I'm not sure Millwood, Freeport are gonna do that. Like, I think we need someplace south.
Correct, I agree.
For ease of voting. It's not just criticism, but also ease of voting, because there were a lot of concerns from our elderly community as well.
So I'm not sure Millwood and Freeport.
Because they're close. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the Millwood residents.
Because
on that.
probably
even
are
if you
Freeport.
open both of those, you would maybe get a judge or 2 from those, of one of those places that would be like, well, I can drive a Meyer Road.
We can wait until December 31st to do this. So what I can do is I can get some more information on some of these scenarios and bring it to the November board.
In particular, the question of if we commit to 3 or we commit to 4 and we put them in semi-convenient locations for ease of voting, then what happens if we don't find enough?
Question number 1, I got it written down.
Perfect.
But I do know, going back to this, we talked about the people that said we were suppressing votes, which we weren't, but I heard it from Freeport and from Millwood that they have a polling place and didn't get to use it. That upset them because they're used to doing that.
Do you think they'd still be upset if it was Freeport, not Freeport?
Probably.
Just Millwood.
That sounds to everybody.
Take a look at those.
Yes.
How do we do that?
Just over the table,
Vote to table,
need a motion for
or a
that.
motion, yeah,
I'll make a motion to table this until our November meeting.
and a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thanks, Greg, for doing that.
We'll get more information for you.
Item G, motion to approve the custodian seniority list.
As a move.
And a second.
Second.
This is an annual
Yep.
bookkeeping
List
thing.
has been shared out with the custodians for their review and they've approved it.
Can you just review why we have to approve this?
Because from time to time, if you have to cut staff, you have to have a list of who's on the bottom and who.
So it's just the process?
Yes.
They review it?
Yeah, they agree, make sure. Just because a lot of different things can happen over a period of time, especially if, you know, we're gonna approve the preschool teachers. If a preschool teacher would move and become a teacher, where do they go on the bottom of the seniority list? So they all approve it to make sure, yeah, that's it. And generally it's for if all of a sudden you have to cut staff, it's gonna be the first in is the first out. I'm sorry, last in is first out.
Yeah.
Yes. Kept thinking LIFO, FIFO, which one is it?
That'll save some money. but-
Yep.
Make me laugh.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Similar, regarding the paraprofessional seniority list, a motion to approve the list as documented.
So moved.
Second,
Same thing.
same thing. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Um, Moving on to item I, a motion to approve the preschool teacher seniority list.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item J, a motion to approve the teacher seniority list.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All the way down to K. Minnesota State High School, the foundation grant. A motion to approve this foundation grant.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
This is an annual thing.
It's an annual thing where he can get grants for students, win state tournaments, those type of things. It's an additional funding for our student athletes.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item L, a motion to approve Deputy Breath on the law enforcement against drugs program.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
I put some information in your folder so that you can take a look at it, review it. Deputy Breath is here tonight to talk about it a little bit. And just so you know, this has been vetted through Terrell and her teachers down in the elementary as well. Okay.
Thank you for coming tonight.
You are welcome. For starters, Deputy Paul Resters, from the Sheriff's Office, School Resource Officer, first year here at Melrose. Been in the Sheriff's Office for going on 18 years. So basically here to discuss the possibility of myself instructing and teaching the fifth graders a lead course, lead is law enforcement against drugs and violence. It is similar to DARE, but yet different. I spent 40 hours late June of this summer being trained to be an instructor in this. Along with myself, there are 3 other deputies with Service County that are also trained. Basically, LEAD is a fully scripted lesson
lessons, that the appropriate approach for teaching children various things. So the first printout that I have, if you were to open up the second to last page, this is entitled Law Enforcement Against Drugs Too Good, Law Enforcement Against Drugs Too Good for Drugs. Grade 5 is what we're looking at. It breaks down into each lesson. There is more to it than drugs, obviously. There's 5 on top. If you're there. So week 1 would be goal setting. Week 2, decision making. Week 3 would be identifying and managing emotions. Week 5 would be effective communication, and week 5 would be bonding and relationships. Then the next set of 5 lessons would be more in the drug area, where safe use of RX and over-the-counter meds, peer pressure refusal, effects of alcohol use, effects of nicotine use, and effects of marijuana use. That would be a 10-week course, specifically on the drug side of it. The other part of this, the purple workbook, is what would be given to each student that would go over, just for instance, very quickly. Week 1 would be goal setting, talk about setting your goals, naming a goal, making sure it's personal, possible, positive, specific, following other steps to achieving a goal, picture yourself achieving it, saying I can, think of how to do it, go for it, and celebrate your success. So each lesson is broken down 45 minutes per session. I have spoke with all 3 of the 5th grade teachers prior to the beginning of the school year, and they are on board. Tentatively, if this goes through, we have it set up that I would be teaching each lesson or each class on Tuesdays for 45 minutes. Besides the initial 10-week course, there is what is called Treatment for Violence. That is on the next handout. It would be on the second to last page for the 5th grade. Each week is broken down again. So week 11 will be respect for self and others, followed by conflict resolution, anger management, identifying and managing bullying situations, and being a positive role model. So it is a total of 15 weeks. And yeah, I guess that's about all I got. I do know it. Some of my partners in Holden Ford, Chad mentioned is currently teaching the 3rd grade version to both Albany Elementary School along with Holden Ford Elementary, and then Deputy Bright Kimball is also teaching the 5th grade, currently teaching the 5th grade. Same as I would plan on doing in Kimball.
So we can make that happen yet this year?
Yep, we will start, if the board approves it, and it's an agreement that we do this, we'll be setting a starting date in November with the teachers that are ready to go to start on it.
What is the feedback you got from the 5th grade teachers?
Very positive. They've been looking for something to replace Dare. They feel like that's been a hole, and they were really excited to be able to bring the deputy into the classroom. He's been out and about in our school and on the playground and trying to make connections with kids, and they just feel like they'd be open to having some discussions with him, and they're looking forward to it.
What about parent notification?
There.
Not that I envision a parent who will opt out, but do they have the opportunity to opt out?
They can opt out if they wish. We will be sending the deputy has shared a letter. We'll modify it and of course translate it into Spanish to meet our needs at Melrose. Send that out ahead of time if this is approved tonight. And then also the elementary is really looking at ways to increase parent involvement and getting parents into the building more. And so 5th grade would like to turn this a little bit into a graduation type thing like DARE, but it wouldn't be really a graduation, but we would have the kids involved in it and make it so that they can kind of get a certificate for completing it and making it similar to the DARE graduation. I talked to the officers that there is certificates and we're able to get that into do that, so they would like to end with that for the parents to see this come to a culmination.
Was DARE this in depth with like goal setting and
No.
workbooks and?
It was more drug focused, and so this is going beyond to meet the needs of where our kids are at today.
And this is a 10-week program, did you say?
There's the too good for drugs portion of it. It's a 10-week, and then there's 5 more weeks, which is considered the too good for violence. That would be like kind of the greenish color workbook.
And we're looking at doing both of these?
Yes.
Yeah. How long was the DARE program?
How many weeks?
Yeah.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had that, but he started late fall and finished in the spring.
So maybe somewhere?
Was it weekly though, the day program? I don't think they did it weekly.
Oh, so kind of on again, off again during that time?
Maybe every other week.
I don't feel like it was this involved.
No, and I don't think, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are probably still had data. So who pays for all the resources? Okay.
They don't remember it.
And these are available in Spanish too?
I would have to order them. I like, terrible that I think not have Spanish.
Typically, we do not need that for our students.
Okay.
So did the parent? I agree, the kids probably don't need that, but does any of this material go home for review with the parents or family to go over?
Outside of the initial letter, where they could have opt out.
I would not see a reason not to.
We're very fortunate that our officer went for the training so that Melrose can participate.
So do some schools do the 3rd and 5th grade? Or,
No.
oh, so you either do a 3rd grade program or.
This program is actually, if you look at those forms, I mean, it is actually designed to work from kindergarten all the way through senior high.
In the elementary, it's chose to be 5th grade because that's what we did there, and the teachers have been asking for something good answer.
But grade 6 through 12 have had something.
Yeah, Robbie's had a program that he's been doing in the middle school, so
We have
we
life
did,
skills.
yep, and so we did, review this with him, make sure there was a good feed into the middle school program.
Any more questions for deputy or? If there are no more questions, all in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for putting the effort into training. Item M is the addendum, or is he added on contract? A motion to approve the notice of assignment for interventionists. And a second.
Second.
I've gone for the notice assignment committee and the 3 intervention assigned the document, so it's ready to go for 2 years, this year and next year.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Motion for adjournment,
I so move.
and a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.